It is election season. We've got the primary vote taking place right now. I'm going to present to you, though, someone who will definitely clear the primary. Why? Well, because she's unopposed on the Republican side. But you have to hear this message. It's a challenge to the political and power base of Hidalgo County in one of those county-wide elections in Hidalgo County. Right now, despite some of the Republican victories of late, a county-wide election is a different story in Hidalgo County. I'm hoping that conservatives and libertarians and independents will somehow be able to coalesce enough support to change the political culture. Sometime in the future, we got a chance this year at the Criminal District Attorney's Office. So it's a pleasure to welcome back Attorney Lydia Elizondo. She is running as a district attorney candidate, Republican side, and has a very interesting platform you need to hear right now. So, okay, Lydia, let me start with one that I think may garner some support, not only here in the county, but even outside the county, to make sure that we clean things up. Let's start with prosecuting election fraud, not waiting on the FBI to prosecute some mail carrier that has a list of addresses for voting, or a group of politiqueras in the Dana school district area from years back where they were they were buying votes with cigarettes, cocaine bags. I think it was fajitas too, right, Freddie? It was a ridiculous scandal.
It was.
But it was prosecuted at the federal level, and they took time and they took evidence. We need to do that at the local level.
We do.
So let's start on that campaign point.
Well, first, let me say
Yes,
good morning, and thank you
yes.
so much for inviting me and letting me be here today to talk about all this. But yes, we don't have a history of prosecuting election fraud here in Hidalgo County. And I think we all know why, because I think most of the people who get elected here get elected through election fraud. It is so rampant. When I ran the last time, I saw so many things that I should not have seen, and it's very disheartening and very
Let's review that,
disconcerting.
because the first conversation you and I had, it was the last cycle, about
Yes.
2 years ago, and I was floored to hear a Democrat, lifelong Democrat, come at me and say, this politiquera system, this machine, that ain't going to work. So tell me a little bit of that experience before you.
So
Okay.
the minute it became public that I was running for office, I was inundated with phone calls and people trying to visit me in person to get me to hire them to
Yeah.
go out and buy votes for me. And I swore I would never do anything like that. And I still have not done that. And I became known as the anti-politiquera person because I campaigned against it. It's not an appropriate way to get a vote. And it happens all the time. One person involved in my campaign last time actually said, you're probably the only person in Hidalgo County who's ever not done this. And you have to do it to get elected. And lots of people came to me and said, just do what you got to do to get elected. And then once you're on the bench, then you can be totally straight. And I was like, I don't work that way. If I don't get it, honestly, I don't want it. But it is such a huge network, and they expect to be hired and they expect to be paid.
Yeah.
And if you don't hire them and you don't pay them, then they come after you. And the things that they do by offering people money and bringing people in who maybe aren't competent to vote, but they drive them into the voting centers, the voting locations, the polling sites, and they offer them their assistance. All of those things, I saw it. All of those things are. It's common. It's not something that's out of the ordinary. It's not something that's rare. It is the way it's done. It is the norm, and we can no longer have that. We need to prosecute election fraud. Why? Because every person's vote matters. Nobody's vote should be diluted. Nobody's vote should be depleted. If you vote a certain way, whether you vote for me, you vote for somebody else, whoever you're voting for, your vote matters, your vote counts, and nobody's actions, nobody's criminal behavior should make your vote not matter.
The Democrat voting machine is a powerful one, and it is deep rooted in this community. Look, there's nothing wrong with helping people, driving them to the polls.
No,
The problem is that you got people who are on the clock being paid, and they've got lists of individuals
That's right.
that they know every election cycle, and that's how they guarantee
Yes.
I can get you 5,000 in this region
yes.
for, I don't know, or I can get you 600 for the school bond vote to get that passed. They sell it,
Yes.
and it's entrenched. If you're going to be driving people to the polls, you as a precinct chair, as a volunteer, go offer to voters without compensation. Well, I can get you there. You go out there and come up. I'll be waiting for you. You can do that if you would, but it has to be a grassroots effort.
It does.
It cannot be what it is in present form, a machine.
It is, and we need to make that change. We need to make it so that it's not a money maker for people. People should not be allowed to buy votes, but people should also not be allowed to sell their votes. We should make that an issue as well.
Lydia Elizondo from Weslaco, attorney Lydia Elizondo. She ran for judge one time. She saw all the corruption and the accumulation of votes, the machine, and she said, "Nuh-uh, I ain't gonna do that." And now she's running to be district attorney. She's running as a Republican. She will clear the primary, and she's got, after that, about 8 months to message and handshake and kiss babies and do whatever's necessary to get her message out. And number one is on fighting election fraud in Hidalgo County, fighting the machine. I know you got 4 other points. I'm going to try to get to them as quickly as possible. Domestic violence.
Domestic violence. I have had so many individuals come to me since I made it public that I was running for district attorney here. And they come to me with their stories of being turned away, of being further humiliated in their circumstance. These individuals have been beaten. They've had their money stolen by their partners, by their husbands or their wives, and they can't get any help. Now they don't have the money to go hire an attorney to do this in the private civil section of the law. So they go to the district attorney's office and they're turned away. And it's been time after time after
Why,
time.
Liddy? Why?
They're given different reasons. They're told different things like, well, there's a conflict, or we can't help you at this time, or go hire an attorney. And they make it seem like all their avenues are open to them still, even though the district attorney's office is not going to be helping them. But in actuality, when people come to you and they have no funds, all those other avenues are closed off. And we need to find a way to make it so that we're not turning all of these people away. I want to help them regain their dignity. I want to help them regain their peace. I want to help them regain a life where they don't live in fear. Nobody should live in fear. And yet that's what we have. And I can't even tell you the number of individuals who've come to me and said, I haven't gotten any help from this current administration. How can I get help? And so there's a couple where only because I have made noise have they received some help. And even then they've backed off from helping. But it's like, well, we'll help, and they make it public we're helping, and then later they quietly step away from it. So these individuals still aren't getting help.
Yeah.
And it's not right. Nobody should live in fear, and we have a lot of people living in fear right now. And part of it is because they know that they're not going to get the assistance they need from the current administration.
I'm reminded of the efforts by Angels of Love, other folks. They're working real hard to try to increase the size of their piggy bank for housing. The issue of legal issues has also come up. I'm thinking that maybe it's time somehow, some way, unite with others. Mujeres Unidas, anybody else who cares about this. Maybe a piggy bank, a fund piggy bank to help fund for,
But we have to be careful which organizations with whom we associate, because there are some organizations who fly the flag of assistance for victims of domestic violence, but they're really more just the political mouthpiece for some people in administration.
Okay.
So we need to be careful with whom we associate.
Well, I know you're keeping an eye on that.
I'm keeping an eye on that. I definitely am.
10-4. Lydia Elizondo, attorney, running to become district attorney in Hidalgo County. She is running against the power base. She's running as a Republican, and she is reform-minded. She's got some ideas, solid platform, prosecuting election fraud at the local level, helping victims of as many victims of domestic violence, make sure that their cases move to a court and to proper prosecution and protection of the victims. And you mentioned something I found curious. Discounts.
Yes.
For friends and family at the court.
Yes, I call them friends and family discounts.
Describe that for me real quick.
So you can go to the courthouse any day of the week and watch as certain cases are heard in different courtrooms. And depending on who the attorney is for the criminal defendant in that case, you're going to see different recommendations. So there's a group of attorneys who are friends and who are family members of the current administration. And their clients always seem to get really amazing recommendations. And sometimes they're put on probation for horrible crimes. And then they end up having their cases or their probation status early terminated. So just after a few months. So if probation is intended to rehabilitate, how do you get rehabilitation after 90 days or 180 days? It doesn't happen. But what I'm saying is nobody should be getting those deals. Everybody should be treated fairly. Every defendant, no matter who you hire, no matter who your attorney is, no matter where you donated or if you donated, if you didn't donate to any political campaign, nothing should matter. Every single person in Hidalgo County who commits a crime should be prosecuted and should be prosecuted fairly. All recommendations should be similar. We shouldn't have better recommendations for certain people and worse recommendations for others because they didn't hire somebody related or who's a friend of the current DA. And those I call them friends and family discounts, and it happens all the time. You can be standing in court and have your client charged with the same thing one of their clients is charged with, and the recommendations be completely different.
I have to say, all shame has been lost by some individuals who work in the legal system.
It has.
The most scandalous that comes to mind was one, I think, about 24 months or so ago.
Yes.
A young woman driving 100 miles, slams into the back of a vehicle, fiery accident. The man in that vehicle died, calcinado. He was burned to death.
Burned to death, yes.
Punishment? Nothing.
Punishment was probation. How? How in the world does somebody get probation?
For killing somebody.
For killing somebody. You're driving drunk. You're driving at a horribly high rate of speed. You cause an accident. The man burns to death. And the person gets probation? No, sir. That will not happen when I'm sworn in.
How is there not a minimum punishment edict by law, by state?
Exactly. And it was in a courtroom where the judge was retiring, and may he rest in peace. He recently passed away. But there was nothing. There was nothing for a person in his position to worry about politically because he was getting off the bench. So everything just sort of lined up for this individual. How did everything line up?
That
it
individual,
landed
that young
court?
lady, an attorney, is she back in practice? Is she back?
I don't know her, and I don't know if
Be
she's
interesting
practicing
to
or
see
she's
whatever.
practicing locally.
Yeah.
I don't know the young woman. I don't know her, but I know that the argument was, well, it's going to end her life. Well, the gentleman who died, it ended his life. And where's the sympathy for
family?
Where's the sympathy for that man, and where's the sympathy for his family?
His family in the courtroom, they were just like bending over in pain.
Yes,
just,
and
wow.
Understandably so. That will not happen when I am the DA. That will not happen.
I hope to have you back. We're up to, I told you, this conversation goes quick. Prosecuting financial crimes.
Yes, this is a safe haven.
Prosecuting to the full extent animal cruelty.
Yes.
As well, a couple of other.
Yes.
And we got plenty to talk about, and Lord willing, hope you come back and see us.
Yes,
as often as you wish.
I'd like to talk about those too.
Continue this conversation. Website, maybe folks can see more on this?
Yes, it's easy to find me. It's my name, LydiaElizondo.com.
LYDIA.
ELIZONDO.com.
Lydia Elizondo.
And they can keep up with all of what's going on and find me on social media, Lydia Elizondo for DA or Lydia for DA. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, which is now X, and also TikTok.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you, Lydia. Thank you for the courage, for stepping up, and thank you for running and forcing the conversation again, over and over again. And
thank you so
anybody
much for
who's willing
me.
to listen about this.
Thank you so much for having me. I hope I earned your vote, and I hope I earned the vote of all of your listeners. Thank you so much for having me here.
Republican Lydia Elizondo will clear the primary. She is running on the GOP primary. She will clear the primary, and then she will go all the way to November. She's running to be district attorney for Hidalgo County. We'll see you again. Thank you, friend.
Thank you so much.